we make these two prayers. So far, it was a statement, Alhamdulillah. The two prayers that we make is what I want to spend a little bit of time, perhaps over the next 2 nights, talking about, inshallah. The first one, I won't discuss tonight. Allahumma rzuqni shafa'at al-Husayn yawm al-wurud. Oh Allah, grant me the intercession of Hussein on the day where we enter upon you, meaning the day of judgment. I don't want to talk about this because this needs an extended session. The shafa'ah of Imam al-Hussein is greater than me trying to cram it into a lecture or 2. But I do want to mention a couple of points about the second part of this dua, which is what? اللهم ارزقني شفاعة الحسين يوم الورود وثبت لي قدم صدق عندك مع الحسين وأصحاب الحسين الذين بذلوا مهجهم دون الحسين عليه السلام. Very, very quickly, brothers and sisters. The question of thabat, the question of steadfastness, the question of remaining on the path is one that is so difficult, so challenging. You need divine intervention for it to work. Which is why you need to pray. Which is why you need to invoke the name of Allah. Oh Allah, make me steadfast on the path of Hussein. ثبت لي قدم صدق. Hold my foot down. I can't do it myself. Why can't we do it? Look at the world around you. Are you kidding me? Look at all the challenges. Look at all the desires, the temptations. Some people, actually most people, if not all people, when it comes to their bodily desires, when it comes to lust in particular, they're weak. In fact, the Quran says so. In Surah An-Nisa, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, خُلِقَ الْإِنسَانُ ضَعِيفًا. Man has been created weak. That's why most intelligence agencies around the world, they use what they call a honey trap. You know what a honey trap is? You send a beautiful woman to whoever you want. And chances are, if he thinks he can get away with it, he won't be caught, that no one's going to get him, chances are he's going to slip. That's why it's such an effective mechanism. That's why the Mossad uses it all over the world. That's why other intelligence agencies and apparatus, clandestine agencies have used it since time immemorial. Since the time of Muawiyah, all the way to our present day. Exhibit B, Jeffrey Epstein, and the things that he's done. Honey trap, because people, they slip. They're weak when it comes to this desire. Then you have people who are weak when it comes to the desire of food. They can't hold themselves. They see a food that's delicious. If they get hungry, that's it. They just can't stop and investigate, read the ingredients. Brother, sister, put in a little bit of effort. They can't. They have to have it. They fall head over heels in love with all of these cooking shows and cooking programs and whatnot. When it comes to the desire of authority and power and the chair, some people are too weak. So the point I'm making here is that we have so many challenges around us. The chances and the probability of us slipping and losing our way and losing the love of Imam al-Hussein are very high. Which is why you need to make dua. ثبت لي قدم صدق عندك مع الحسين وأصحاب الحسين. Ya Allah, I can't do this myself. I can't do it alone. Help me. And if we wanted to start talking about the people who started out good and ended up bad and evil and ended up in the fires of hell, we wouldn't finish if we spoke for a year. Think of Barsis al-Abid. Barsis al-Abid, whose story I'm sure you've heard before, was mustajab al-da'wah, brothers and sisters. Do you know what that means? I can almost guarantee, have never seen a person who was mustajab al-da'wah. You've probably never heard of anyone in this present world who was mustajab al-da'wah. Mustajab al-da'wah means every prayer you make gets answered instantaneously. How hard do you have to work to get to the level where your prayers are answered? He was at that level, and yet the woman he fornicated with and committed adultery with was sick. Those of you who are familiar with the story will know what I'm talking about. They brought her to this man because they knew that his prayers would be answered. They asked him for a prayer. He prayed and she was healed. But then he ended up committing the sin of fornication. Then, having realized that now I'm going to get exposed, now people are going to find out, I will lose my reputation, one sin leads to the other. One ring gets pulled and the entire chain gets pulled. And so after that first sin of fornication, the next logical step, as far as he was concerned, was to kill her. Murder the woman, and no one's ever going to find out. Then after he killed her and they found her body buried and they took him to the judge and he was sentenced to be executed, he's about to be executed, the chair's about to be pulled from underneath him, the shaitan presents himself in the form of a human being. He says to him, you see what I did to you? You see how powerful I am? You see, only I could have done this to you. You were mustajab with da'wah, and look at where you are right now, about to be executed for the murder of a woman you fornicated with. Now, there's only one person who can save you, and that's me. But you have to pay the price. He said, tell me anything. He said, you have to prostrate before me. Take me as your God. He said, I can't. Look at me. I'm tied up. I'm about to be executed. He said, well, close your eyes in a gesture. That's all I want from you. Just close your eyes. I'll take that as your prostration. He closed his eyes. The chair was pulled from underneath him. He was executed as a fornicator, a murderer, and a kafir. A satanic worshipper. We could go on and on, brothers and sisters. Think of Zubayr ibn al-Awwam, the cousin of Rasulullah. How he started out being the person that Fatima al-Zahra said to Amir al-Mu'mineen, that if you won't execute my will, I will tell Zubayr and he will be the one to execute it. Unbelievable. Zubayr was the only person to have actually unsheathed the sword and fought to protect the house of Fatima when it was ambushed by the hypocrites. And yet this person, fast forward 25, 26 years, ends up at the other side fighting Ali ibn Abi Talib, and then getting killed in the process, and ending up at the bottom of the fires of hell. Think of Ibn Abbas, also another cousin of Rasulullah, a cousin of Amir al-Mu'mineen. I could go on and on and on. But the good thing is that the opposite is also true. You can start out as sinful, as evil. You can start out having a terrible legacy, a past that you're not particularly proud of. كَمْ مِنْ شَقِيٍّ خُتِمَ لَهُ بِالسَّعَادَةِ Amir al-Mu'mineen says, how many an evil person who ended up being good. A very simple example is Hurr ibn Yazid al-Riyahi.